We're doing it, Peter. We're really doing it.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I should have started. I'll start with a sound effect after we get this done. But welcome to the main event.
All I have to say is, bandwagon boys without a crack.
Yeah, I was like, as you were playing the intro stuff, I was like, oh man, it would have been better if we would have came into the NWO song, which I can do it as soon as we stop that anyways. So I don't know why I had to say that. So, hey.
Oh, no.
Or I'll go.
Oh, you didn't know?
Do, 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 do. Crack 'em if you got 'em!
No ass better call somebody!
How you doing? Man, I would love to just do an hour podcast of us just hyping the beginning of a show. We just don't stop.
It's just nonstop sound. I mean, the
Well,
bandwagon boys one is
it's
just
like, all right, how's it going? Let's go. Crack 'em, baby. Hey,
okay, everybody, are you ready to rock? Are you ready to
crack
rock?
'em?
You know what another great thing is?
Rawr.
I also got our chat working again.
I saw that. No one responded.
I know.
To your message.
I know, because it was.
But I think it's because there was a rapid fire, kind of.
Yeah, you know what?
Like it or not, there was rapid fire Dallas Cowboys free agency moves today.
100%. And before we get into free agency and before we get into our super chat there, Bandwagon Baba points out a very, very notable thing. Ant's not in the studio, and you guys are acting out. We didn't even mention that Ant's not in the studio today.
Nope.
We're not getting him on video chat. We were going to actually get him to call in. He's probably listening, so he might be, as soon as he's listening, he'll probably be driving and
Frustrated.
If he's stuck in traffic, he'll start to chat in there. But I said, oh, we should get you in on audio only, and he didn't get any crickets. So guess what? Fuck you, Anth. You ain't getting on the show today. It's the Bandwagon Boy Edition show. And you know how we do. First thing first, we get a $10 super chat from Swag Official 113 at work right now. Just tuned in for a supper or a super. Oh, just turned in for a super chat, idiot. But crack him if you got him. Thanks, Swag Official.
Swag Official, appreciate it, and hope you catch us on the replay. And also, you give us a $9.99 super chat, and we appreciate that. You're at work. I hope you're not working an hour for free for us. But I guess, you know what, honestly, not to sound detached from the world, I just don't remember what an hourly wage is anymore. What it is now. I mean, so $9.99 is probably extremely under.
It's very under. That's like independent. And now you're also assuming that Swag Official is getting paid minimum wage.
That is true.
So not assuming you get paid minimum wage. I would say that at least in Canada where we are, I don't know what the minimum wage is, but
$15.
Yeah, but you got places like Starbucks out here that are paying people like 18 or 19 bucks an hour because they couldn't find any employees. So regardless with minimum wage, like I think some areas have to pay more.
A quarter. Let's say you're making $40 an hour. We appreciate that you're working a quarter of that hour for us. That's all I was.
Yeah, he actually wanted to come in and he wanted to keep his reign as the sole super chat sponsor of the show.
Well,
even though Kilo C super chatted last time, but Swag Official, this is his third show in a row, dropping those super chats, and we appreciate it.
And I do have to say, in the dead zone, which is coming up to post draft, is when we'll do we did it last year.
Oh, our awards.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think that's an appropriate time because we're gonna need to fill some hours. So we'll do the awards post draft, but it's for the 2024 season. We'll actually have to get our boy Bot G on because he was the sugar daddy of the year last year. We renamed the award the Bot G Award. And so he will give it out to the winner of the Sugar Daddy Award. And Swag Official
could be in the running.
Anything that you're doing now is counting towards the 2025 season.
Ooh, right. So you'll see.
So he's a hot rookie coming in here.
He's a hot rookie coming in here. He's making some moves in free agency because the Cowboys ain't. Now, I think anybody tuning in right now, obviously we want to talk about free agency, which we're
Making Cowboys great again?
Yeah, we're making Cowboys great again. I know that the last 2 days I'm constantly checking my phone to see if there's any type of update, even though I do have alerts.
Yeah.
And when I stop checking on it, I get those alerts coming through and I sit there and I stare at it for a second and be like, this can't be a Cowboys alert. And then sure enough, you see it. Sadly, the only alert I got today out of all the moves they made was DeMarcus Lawrence signing to the Seahawks. And I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
Well,
there was that video of
CeeDee Lamb reacting to, that was almost like me. I felt CeeDee and I were kindred spirits there, reacting the same way.
Well, I just on that note, I agree. I have in our fantasy football, we were using the NFL app, and then we switched
to Sleeper.
And now Sleeper gives me all of the updates.
Yeah, that's
like pretty quicker than I can like go in and check.
Well,
so
that's
what I've been using.
I've been talking about. That's what I was talking about. Sleeper. Chat. What's going on, everybody? We got Brent Packer guy in the house saying Anth's there. He's just hiding in the dark. So let's go to the shot of the Anth. You can see him in the background there, creepily
playing
awaiting.
with his pud.
Yeah.
Playing with his pud.
He wants. And part of me thinks is Anth's going to do like a Sting from the rafters running when we start
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's going to show up here at like 6:30 and say, "Don't you fucks think that you could draft without me?" Because we are doing a live mock draft. You know how it is. It's mock draft 5 tonight. Once we get through all the free agency talk, we got R2J2's in the house saying evening all.
Sup.
Our boy Jenkins Gaming's in the house saying I have a feeling Barron will be the first pick. R2
Barron Trump.
Yeah, Barron Trump. Rolando Rodriguez says, Cowboys Can Fan, what's up? Cheers from South Texas. Crack 'em if you got 'em. Cowboys are getting #1 pick bust just like Taco. LOL, go Cowboys. Hopefully that's not the case.
Well, I think he's referring to some of the free agents that we signed.
Totally.
Hopefully not 2025 bust.
Yeah, and you know what? You start talking about boots on the ground, a.k.a. Bocce. He must have heard you. His ears were on fire because he's in the chat. He's saying, crack 'em if you got 'em. And then there's a couple of other comments here. This is a funny one. I'll just get through this. I always feel when Bandwagon Bob is in the chat, like I have to behave. It could be paranoia. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You should be fearful of Bandwagon Baba, aka Sarge.
Yeah, growing up, all of our friends had 2 names for her, and no, not ya bitch. It's Commish, as in commissioner, because she was the commissioner of our backyard wrestling federation, or Sarge, because she used to be a drill sergeant in the Canadian military.
Used to be scared of Bandwagon Baba. Now I know she's just a pushover.
Ooh.
Well.
Hey, Mom, don't listen to him, okay? And then last but not least, we do have our boy Cowboys Up Podcast, a.k.a. Big Fella in the house saying, what's up?
Sup. Well, thank you for joining us, guys, everyone who's here and who's coming in. And, I'm hoping at least one of y'all are out there in your underwear. I don't know, maybe in a bathtub, just drinking a beer, listening to Can Fan. That's what I like to picture. But yeah, guys.
Did you like how I went on that tear of just talking about all the chats? Ant's not here. You don't know how to handle the People's Champ right now. It's off the rails.
I had to
do it.
I had to pull us away, and then you pulled us right back, and that's how it goes.
Well, here's a good segue, and you mentioned the term fantasy football. Does it not feel like Jerry Jones and the Jones family are running this like a fantasy? Like you're on the waiver wire, just picking up. Like, is this guy? Could this guy maybe get me a couple points this weekend? Because I have to make a drop. I have to make a decision.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: like looking at the free agents that were available. We've gone over a number of them over the weekend. I'm sure everyone out there has also had a look-ski and said, hey, ooh, I'd like this. Ooh, we all did some window shopping. I think Jerry Jones had a little bit of credence, if that's the right term, in his when he said he wasn't going to go ahead and look to fill holes.
Right.
In not now in the free agency. Now, number one, that's probably because there were so many holes. Sorry. He lied because there's so many holes that drafting anyone is filling a hole.
Right.
However, when you looked at like who was available and maybe it's just us being gun shy, knowing the Cowboys wouldn't go out there and spend a lot of money on anyone, but there was a lot of guys who, if we wanted to, they were just out of the range for what the Cowboys traditionally do.
Yeah.
The only difference I've seen is that there has been more action. I believe last year we signed one person.
Trent Sieg.
And there might have been a handful of other dudes, but there has been. here's the thing. There's been so many players. There were so many free agents, 22 of them, I believe, and quite a few surprise walks, J. Lou being one of them.
Rico Dowdle being another.
Rico Dowdle being another. You know, those are both, I don't think, completely 100% signed, but they're good as gold anyways. Those ones kind of hurt the most.
Yep.
And when we got the Javon Williams, Javonte Williams.
Javon Williams.
When we signed Javonte Williams, I was like, okay, nice pairing. Now we're kind of back to
Rico.
square one. So some of these signings, it's like good to see the Cowboys making moves, but when you look at the plus minus loss, you're just replacing.
I know.
We're not really building making any position better. It's just like replacing players that we've lost of the same tier or caliber.
We'll get into it because I'm curious to see what we are at now in terms of signing all these guys. Like, where are we sitting with the cap space right now? Because you see some of these guys that you're getting picked up. I mean, there's that wicked stat, and not wicked in a good way, but the wicked stat that says the Cowboys haven't spent over $6 million on a free agent since 2015, which is absolutely just atrocious. I know what Rico Dowdle can make up to $6.25 million. So I don't know what was his initial was it $3 million that he signed the 1 year with the Panthers for, with incentives to get up to 6.25?
Probably. I actually didn't even look at the full details of that contract. I'll pull it up right here though.
So True Infamous 73, he looks like he's a Seahawks fan because he has a Seahawks, and then he says, thanks for D-Law, is his comment. His other comment says, they restructured Dak and CD's contract just to sign some bums, but didn't re-sign D-Law. I mean, I wouldn't have signed D-Law for that amount. That's way too much for us, obviously, when we talked about it. I think D-Law, I hate losing D-Law.
Yeah, I hate losing D-Law too. He somehow in his potentially last contract of his career was able to sign a 3-year deal worth more than what he was paid last year with the Cowboys. I think $10 million with the Cowboys. Now he's getting an average of something like $12 million or whatever if you break it down. I would love to have kept D-Law. That's too rich for my blood. And the 3-year deal, I think, is hopeful. I bet you he plays at least one more year, obviously. And I hope it's a full year because I love D-Law. Love to see him out there, and we definitely missed him. But I don't. The 3-year guarantee, or sorry, whatever is the guaranteed money in that 3 year, it's just going to be too much for I think what you're going to get out of the guy. So, he made the right decision for himself.
Yeah,
and I hope he does well in Seattle. Look, Seattle's kind of going through a I don't know, changing of the guard. I guess.
Yeah, they offloaded a lot of their guys. They picked up Sam Darnold. They have a lot of draft picks. So yeah, they'll be making some moves this draft for sure.
But yeah, let's go through the free agency tracker here for the Dallas Cowboys and have a look at all these dudes. And then I have some articles on each one of them that we can pull up and just do a little read ski, because some of these guys, here's what I will say. If anything, the Cowboys went out there and they got younger, and they have a low floor, for a bunch of these players, but because of their youth and because of, if you have confidence in the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff to take a little bit of I don't know what's shitty and then you turn it good, like
take some lemons and make it into lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah, that's good. Everyone loves like a nice.
Take some chicken shit and make it into some chicken salad.
Yeah, you take those lemons, they're sour, you squeeze them, you add a little coach and sugar, and I think that's what the Cowboys were aiming for with a lot of these guys.
Correct.
They're young. They had. For the most part, it seems like a lot of the dudes had some quality college days, right?
4 former first rounders that they grabbed.
Yeah.
Like Kenneth Murray Jr. was a first rounder that they picked up. Khair Elam, he was a first rounder. So they picked up guys who looked like they had potential, but then just haven't really panned out.
For injuries or other reasons, yeah.
A couple of guys are injury prone. It's like we bought a bunch of, hey, this was supposed to be a good vehicle. It just hasn't really turned out. But yeah, let's go top to bottom from the list.
Well, I was going to say, let's just go bottom top and let's knock off our re-signs real quick, and then we can hop in and look at the new guys. So obviously we already talked about Osa. Big signing. I mean, that was the splash, and it really depends. If Osa can repeat what he did last season beside Micah Parsons, over the next 4 seasons, I believe, okay, I think that's a good signing. If he does digress at all, he's kind of right. For my money, he's right on the cusp of like, oh, okay, like this is going to be a guy who's beneficial rather than just a guy who's coming in to help with a few plays a game.
Absolutely. Glad he got his money because I always want to see players who performed last year get their money. Does he have a few areas that he still needs to shore up? Absolutely. Coming in with an extension that was signed early, having a good season, like you're marked to come in with some momentum this year. You're not dealing with contracts. So really want to see Osa Odigizua have even a better year this upcoming year. Now knowing that he got paid like he's a guy that the team wanted and needed, right? So happy about that. Ultimately he would have gotten that if maybe not a little bit more from another team, regardless. So the Cowboys needed to lock him up. CJ Goodwin, a nice re-sign there.
Just a special teams dude, but
Brock Hoffman, we're all big Hoff guys as well. We love it. Our boy in the chat, Cowboys Up podcast, aka Big Fella, they had him on a show. But yeah, Brock's a guy on the line. We know what we're gonna get from him. And again, it's one of those things where, hey, now it's your time. You guys are the vets. You're the ones who should be stepping in and carrying this team, this defense as the veteran defense.
Yeah, and then Tyrus Wheat, I guess more of a special teams and depth guy there, but he's been on the squad for quite a few years.
Yep.
One-Way Thomas re-signed as well.
I like that one. Yep.
Marquise Bell re-signed.
I like the
signed.
The shitty thing about the Marquise Bell signing is when all of this other free agency stuff was happening, the Cowboys posted a picture of him and saying making moves, and then the comment section was just like negative about it. And I feel bad because I like Marquise Bell. I know you like Marquise Bell. He stepped up in the linebacker role when he needed to, and then he transitioned nicely back into safety. So I think that was a great signing. It sucks that it had such it's like when Trent Sieg gets externed. It's like, dude, we know you're going to resign. You don't need to be posting it all over social media while other people are making big moves. That kind of sucked.
Yeah, and well, good news is was not really directed at him personally. Yeah. It was just like
more about the organization.
Sorry. So next here, I'm just trying to pull up our boy,
Jerry Jones.
Our new running back,
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. Did I not bring up a?
So while AJ looks at Javonte, so the big first signing of like a non-re-sign, bringing somebody else in was who we thought was going to be, the running back to Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams from the Broncos. So he was our first person that we brought in. Showed lots of promise when he was signed, when he got drafted. But the last couple of years had a little bit of issues. Didn't have the performance that he was that he should have had coming out of college. But the Cowboys signed him to a 1-year, $3 million deal that could rise to $3.5 million with incentives. And then obviously the next line right there, this was even a couple days earlier. This move will certainly see Rico Dowdle in another uniform next season. So everyone was calling it. They signed him, and all of a sudden now you have Javonte Williams, Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lepke, and Malik Davis as the backs on the roster. So,
well, yeah, Williams is only 24 years old, was part of our running back committee in Denver last season, and he rushed for 513 yards, 4 tutties, with 52 receptions and 342 yards. So that's good. Looking at him paired with another running back, I think it's pretty clear now with Rico Dowdle walking that the Cowboys will, let's hope, be looking to draft a running back either in that first round, unless, of course, Gianti and Hampton are no longer available, and that's a possibility. I do believe Hampton should be available at 12 there. Will the Cowboys feel like, oh, okay, we need to make that move, or will they wait for a second or third round? The lucky news for us is there is depth, but I feel like this is lining us up to draft Genti now with that first overall pick, barring that he doesn't get taken before number 12.
At number 6 for the Raiders. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I don't hate this pickup. I mean, it's a low risk 1-year deal, $3 million. I mean, fucking Trey Lance got more than that, and I think Javonte Williams is going to show more production to the team than what Trey Lance did. So, as a running back too, I kind of wanted to see one of those us take one of those top backs in the draft and have Rico Dowdle almost kind of move into our running back 2 scenario, and then Javonte Williams would have been a strong number 3. But hey, that's not the case. He's definitely going to be our RB2. Had more touchdowns than Rico Dowdle, not enough yards, but different
not his
offense.
fault, not Rico's fault necessarily.
Not Rico's fault necessarily, not also Javonte Williams' fault, but you look at how Javonte Williams was not really as present in the last game of the Broncos season, and then playoffs wasn't really an impact. So, those things can be corrected with a proper line and a better run offense, which it looks like the Cowboys are starting to try to set themselves up to be.
The Cowboys?
Cowboys, yep.
Yeah, the big standout here for me is, okay, we got our kind of shifty back. Williams has that 52 receptions. That's a lot of reception yards for a running back, and it means that he's probably running, 70 routes out to the left or right there in the backfield, or maybe down the field. I don't know where he's catching the ball. But okay, it's a sideways move from Dowdle. We didn't get any necessarily better. In fact, some might argue we perhaps got worse because of Dowdle's rise.
Right.
I still think what Dowdle signed, what his contract was, and what did you say it was?
Well, it said up to $6.25 million. So,
1-year deal, and it's just a 1-year deal too. I'm a little upset with that 1-year deal worth up to $6.25 million. So
yeah, so don't know exactly. I mean, who knows what the initial agreement is, and if he hits certain incentives or milestones, it could double maybe. I don't know. But regardless, I mean, at 6 point, would the Cowboys, he probably wouldn't have gotten that deal at $6 million for 1 year with the Cowboys.
No, but we were talking about a 3-year, $5 or $6 million deal. I mean, look, yeah, I would have paid him a 1 year, $6.25 million deal. Absolutely. I would have paid him 1 year, $6.5 million, because I know
what we're going to get.
If I'm going for, I know that, okay, if I get Dowdle and Williams for under $10 million both, if I'm not drafting a running back, okay, so I have a $10 million running back room plus whatever fucking change Hunter Lepke and Deuce Vaughn have and Davis. That is okay with me. And then even if I had that, I would still go ahead and draft a running back, because I only have that $6 million locked up for one season, and I know my running backs in the first round is going to be whatever. That money's already set aside.
Right.
Your pick money's already set aside. So
I don't have to worry about it.
I honestly don't get not bringing back Dowdle unless it could just because I see the years. A 1 year, $6.25 million deal. What would be the issue there with Dallas? Why wouldn't you take that 1 year deal?
Maybe Dallas isn't offering. Maybe Dallas wanted to bring him back for $3 million for the year. Who knows? It's a very bizarre thing. Maybe they wanted to move on from him.
Maybe they wanted him for free. But the reality is, I'm just saying, the reality is you got to pay players to come play for your football team.
Yeah, of course.
It's not this move on the running back position to go get Javonte Williams. Hope that he has good success here for Cowboys, but he's a 1 year rental too. Why not do the same thing with Dowdle?
Right.
You'd have $10 million wrapped up in 2 running backs. Small amount of that's tiny little bit of cap.
And
space.
I guess
how valuable do you see running backs? And then you need to put that money aside out of the $275 million, give or take, of the cap. It's less than $10 million is less than 5%.
Right.
Quite a bit. So it makes sense.
The way that it would look like it, if maybe they tried to do it and Rico wanted more, and maybe the Cowboys offered him 5 for 2 years or something like that. Who knows what the Cowboys offered him, and it wasn't enough, and the agent said no. Let's go back to the free market, sign for another team, show your worth, increase or whatever. Who knows? At the end of the day, there's a reason why they didn't re-sign him. They think they're getting a better deal right now with Javonte Williams, and that hopefully we're targeting a running back in round 1 or 2.
Well, if you're going into the season with this running back room that we have now is worse than the one that we had last
Absolutely.
year.
We can all agree on that.
Unless they go out and pull another Zeke out of
unless they think that
dusty old hat.
At least unless they think that Deuce Vaughn is some sort of maybe Brian Schottenheimer is going to say, hey, you know what? You guys haven't used Deuce Vaughn. McCarthy hated him because of his height. So I'm going to come in there. I'm going to break Deuce out. Deuce is loose.
Well, we got
maybe not.
We got a couple of. Hang on, where the frick is this guy?
Going to bring it up.
Yeah, I screwed up all my.
Well, while you're looking for that, hang on. So Brent Packer guy goes, and you know what? Hey, I appreciate calling the sound bites. He goes, can we get a last?
What are you doing here, Uncle Rico?
And
Thanks, Rico.
Yeah,
so
I know. Hey,
I gotta clear it out. Hey, I'm deleting it now. I'm deleting it off.
Thanks, Rico.
Deleting it off the list now.
well, the next dude on our board here is Robert Jones. He's an offensive lineman. Has a 1-year deal worth up to $4.75 million, which is fucking pocket change, of course, and it's a nice bargain bill purchase. But I don't know much about offensive linemen are really difficult to.
Yeah, you're gonna bring it up and size it. Bot G with the $10 super chat says, "Boys, as I lay here naked, drinking a cold beer in my bathtub, I can't help but think Rico's exit is due to him knowing the Cowboys are getting running back in the first round of the draft, and he's done as a running back too." So I like where our boy Boots is
That's
thinking.
the hopeful. That is the hopeful thinking. Our boy Robert Jones, though, here. Welcome to the team. He's
Welcome
a guard, just on a 1-year stint. 6'4", 335, 26 years old. I think this is why the Cowboys are going after these guys. A bunch of them they're young dudes hitting their second contract or maybe being cut from a team previously. My problem here with Robert Jones is I just don't know what to be excited about. The guy, in terms of his PFF grade, and if there are any Miami Dolphins fans out there who watch the offensive line and are now listening to our chat, let us know if there is any good in Robert Jones. But he had a 56.1 overall grade on PFF with a 54.3 pass blocking grade and a 56.3 run blocking grade. All dehydrated piss.
Massive dehydrated. And obviously we're very judgmental on how, like, if you start strong and you end off very dehydrated, that's not great for us. What was his 2023 or 2022 season?
He's, I've looked at all these guys, so I better.
I know. Yeah, not that much better. Not that much better.
Yeah, he's never had a season above. His first season was his best at 63.6. Now, he also only played 79 snaps. So do you think that for what it's worth?
Do you think? Okay, so like, I mean, we keep hearing from people who either follow the Arizona Cardinals, or you hear people when they talked about getting Adams over onto our team and what he was able to do with the offensive line in Arizona with just a bunch of like new, fresh guys who just were not solid players, and he made that line very, very formidable. Do you think like a pickup like this is something where he's saying, hey, this guy's cheap, I know I can work with him, he's a good depth piece, and I know the Miami offensive guys, they weren't great, so I can do better? Like, do you think that plays into this for a pick like this?
I would hope that the coaches are saying that, and it seems like quite a few of those guys are that way. The kind of good news here, I guess, is the Cowboys feel. Well, you tell me if it's good news or not, but the Cowboys feel like they probably have a solid 5, starting 5, and so Robert Jones is more of that depth signing. Again, though, when you lose Zach Martin, that's a big hole to fill. Yeah. And so maybe not as big as it was, say, 2 years ago, but still, it's a consistency that you just can't replicate that easy. And so I guess Robert Jones coming in here is that, and I would hope that the coach would say, I see what I can do with this guy. This is what he wasn't getting in Miami.
Here's what his footwork is good. Here's how he was misplayed. Our run scheme, this guy would fit well into that because of this or whatever. Like, I would, again, hope. I think we've had similar conversations like this when we draft guys and we're like, oh, maybe this person's going to be able to do this, and they see something in him and then they end up being a flub. But,
it's the amount of players that we had leaving, and it's really kind of like if I was looking at my Madden rating, you know how the team gives you an offensive, defense, and overall, I think we've just pretty much stayed in that same, whatever we were rated. We've not improved, and some might even argue we've taken a step back. Free agency ain't over yet, though, although a lot of the big names that we were looking at are gone, except for those running backs, so there's still that hope. But Robert Jones, like you said, coming in, he had one good game. He actually played good against Arizona, believe it or not, so and New England. Big whoop. That was last season.
Big whoop.
But hey, he's got size, 6'4", 334, and maybe if it is something that the O-line coach can say, hey, I can fix this boy. Give me a chance with him. Well, hey, I'm down with that.
Put me in, coach. I got you. Who's next on our list? So we go from Robert Jones to Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas, I like the name.
Like the name.
Thomas is defensive tackle.
Yep.
We've kind of rotated through these guys, and I feel like this is just another spaghetti at the wall type of scenario.
But not for the amount that they're going to be paying for him, right?
What is his contract? Oh, this is the 2-year, $8 million contract. So again, a $4 million
per year guy, defensive tackle who has some experience.
Yeah, so this is what Adam Schefter says. Former Jets defensive tackle Solomon Thomas reached agreement today on a 2-year deal with a max value of $8 million with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is home for Thomas, and now he gets to go back to work. So, while I'm pulling up his PFF,
look at that line right there. So Aaron White Cotton, which is stop right there. Yeah, so Aaron White Cotton is the new Cowboys defensive line coach and comes to the team from just having worked with the Jets as well. So it stands to reason the connection was of importance or at least mild significance. So he could be one of those guys like, hey, I really like this guy. We could add him to this line here. He's definitely better than what we're currently working with. Sign him. He'll be cheaper than trying to re-sign whatever, right? Like that's when we're talking about these.
So yeah,
so
he's a three. So I know. Take a breath. Solomon Thomas, 6'2", 256. We're laughing because of these PFF. You thought things couldn't get worse. Well, they did.
Yeah.
29-year-old. So he's not young. Like he is who we think he is. I don't think this is a coaching issue. I think this is who Solomon Thomas is. The only benefit is, geez, is Anthony here?
No,
the only benefit is 6'2", 256 defensive interior. He's playing a 3 tech.
Right.
So he's not down there on the center, sorry. He's right next to Micah. Now, my thoughts are, with his size, is he going to be kicked out to
edge?
To an edge,
now
perhaps?
Now that we didn't re-sign D-Law, is Solomon Thomas going to be an edge rusher?
Yeah, and I actually did do a little...
you did a little bit of deep diving.
Well, because I wanted to wait. I was like, man, this guy's so dog shit in his overall grade. Like, why did they even go after him? And I went and looked at his
Skittle board.
I'm not gonna pull it up because it's not.
But you put him in this.
I put him in here just to see how he ranked.
I like it.
And I will say this, in terms of his metrics, for his combine, which of course he's 29, so that was 6 years ago.
A decade ago.
He was really quick. He had a 4.69 40 dash, a 1.66 10-yard split, so he can get in there quickly. A 126 or 10'6" inch broad jump, and a 6.95 3-cone drill and 4.28 shuttle drill. What that means, without what the hell are all those numbers you're saying? He outperformed the average in his combine metric. So he is he's an athletic specimen. I bet you his size has really hurt his ability to play that 3-tech defensive interior position. I wouldn't be surprised if Cowboys kick him outside. It makes sense now with D-Law signing with the Seahawks. But he's not a good run blocker. If you're comparing his stats, overall grade 45.6 on PFF, 61.2 pass rush grade. So he can pass rush, but he cannot stop a run defense, 41.5, which is like, why are you even on the team? So that's the hope here with Solomon Thomas, another depth piece for the defensive line. We've been doing this kind of over and over for the last few years, getting guys who show up for some games and then you forget they're even on the team in another game. So Not much more we can say about that. Another hopeful pick. He's not a youthful dude, but only a 2-year contract, $8 million.
Again, hopefully he provides something when if you are a backup piece, if you are a backup piece, come in and actually handle it when you can.
Yeah, I'll back that piece up.
Ant's in the chat, by the way. He's battling with an Eagles fan.
Oh shit! Here we go. Give it to him, Anthony. Give it. Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony?
Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony?
Drummer.
Why has it been 4 years of doing this that we've never grabbed that?
Who's Anthony?
Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony?
My drummer.
My drummer.
Well, look, I have to basically create a whole new board.
Yeah.
I had some Joe Biden clips. He's out, so I got to bring in the Donald Trump sound effects. I'm gonna come. Kevontae Turpin, good signing. I'm glad they brought him back. I was actually secretly hoping someone would want him so we can get that second round pick. But
no one was going to take that second round pick. But
he's worth it. He's worth it for us. I don't know that any other team is looking at what he's doing and saying, okay, we want to bring this guy back. But also, just to add on to that, sorry, Brian Anger resigned, so our entire special teams is back together, baby.
They are back. They're back. They're
without
so
Vasectomy
back.
Jones.
Yeah, without Vasectomy. Yeah, he's gone. So maybe they'll even Turpin will even turn up even more. But I hate the headline. He's the highest paid special teams player. Like, they paid him that amount because he's more than just a special teams player. We will see him in the running back. The wide receiver.
Maybe in the running back.
But like, Kevontae Turpin should be wide receiver 4 technically. Like drastically underutilized last year when we actually put him on the field and did some of those slants or those drags, which the Cowboys seem to be allergic to. He actually did a fantastic job when you're there, right?
I need to see this Cowboys offense take Kevontae Turpin and just have a package for him and then a game plan for him throughout the whole game. We need some setup. So we need Turpin out there lining up in those positions where he would get the ball and then not getting the ball.
Yeah.
And just making the defense gas. And then once it becomes appropriate, then you would run it with the ball. And I feel like last year, whenever I saw Kevontae Turpin in the backfield, 8 out of 10 times, and I don't even know if that's how many times he was, but just in his career, 80% of the time he's getting the ball. And then you could just make sure that you're watching him, no trickeries going on. Okay. The skill set that he can bring is that trickery.
Yeah, that trickery, that speed. But again, we'd have to go back. But how many times did they throw him outside to do like a fade route or something to help stretch the field down? Like, again,
I think there was that one pass late. No, there was the one late in the season, if you remember.
Right, where he caught it.
It was like a sideline catch.
Sideline catch.
I think there was a couple, but there was one. He did make a big catch down the sideline with how we believe the Cowboys should be using Kevontae Turpin. Of course, it showed up in the last couple games of the season.
And on the play like that, it's like, you'd see him show up and it's like, okay, he's going to do some sort of reverse or he's going to kind of swing around here or something. Or maybe he does.
Too obvious.
Let him stretch the field and have our non-existent tight ends catch it in the middle of the field or even give it to our slot CD Lamb who needs to get some more playing time this year since last year we saw him go a little bit too early based on us sucking
D.
Sucking D.
Say it. You can say it on this podcast.
Well, Ant's arguing with the Eagles fan about the guy being homophobic because he was calling Bot G gay for saying he was in the tub, and then Ant went in on him, and they're chat battling right now. It's hilarious.
Look, I know. Here's the thing: Philadelphia Eagles fans don't clean themselves. They don't wash. So like a bathtub or a shower, they just see that in movies. And usually it's like prison movies because they're struggling with their own sexuality. And so it's kind of like an erotic event for them as well as also it makes them angry and frustrated. So totally with you here. Eagles to win X10. But you come into the Lions den, you're gonna get what I like to call your back split open.
Okay. Who's our next guy on here?
We got first round pick here, Peyton Turner. Well,
former first round pick, Peyton Turner.
Peyton Turner signs a 1-year, $3 million deal with $2 million guaranteed. Peyton Turner, interesting guy because he is again another young dude. Is a former Saints edge rusher, and What exactly are the Cowboys getting in turn? The Houston native starred for his hometown Cougars. Hey, racking up 5 sacks in just 8 games in the pandemic-shortened 2020 season. Oh, he's a pandy. He's a pando, eh? His strong senior season led to the Saints drafting him in the first round with the 28th overall pick in 2021. At the time, Turner was ranked as the 60th best player in the draft by Dane Brugler, fake name, who offered this assessment. So this is Turner's assessment from Dane Brugler. Turner is among the best effort players in this draft class, using his long strides and speed to chase down ball carriers. He's a high-cut rusher and battles balance issues versus leverage power, but he does a great job keeping his hands and feet in lockstep to attack and work off blocks. Overall, Turner needs to cultivate his pass rush sequence, but he has outstanding length, foot quickness, and competitive energy. He projects as an eventual NFL starter with inside-outside versatility.
Yeah,
6'6", 270. I'm going to pull up his PFF.
Yeah, bring it up. And while he's bringing up, the line here next says, that sounds like the exact answer you get if you ask a new Cowboys defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, to describe what he looks for in defensive ends. So Eberflus craves effort everywhere on defense and has developed a specific way to measure it in practice and during film session. He also prioritizes length and quickness on edges, which Turner, who played the last season at 6'6" and 270, has in spades, which might counter your
Small guy.
your Solomon Jones.
Solomon Jones and
pick
Peyton
6'2", 250. Like Peyton Turner towers over that guy.
Well, and this is the first, like, because every time we get a guy, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I'm going to go look at his PFF. This was the first one where I kind of went, okay. Because why? He has a 70.8 pass rush grade on PFF. That's the 39th ranked, which Cowboys need help with the run game, but I'm not one to say that, well, if you can affect the quarterback with a pass rush, how much effect does that have on a run game? I don't know.
Well, you add, so you look at Osa Odigizua, Micah Parsons, and then you add Peyton Turner in here for the type of pass rush that they're going to do. I think now you have 3 people you definitely need to deal with.
Well, you don't forget about Sammy Dubb and Marshawn Nealon.
Yep.
Both of those guys had looked potentially promising. They have not been able to stay on the field.
But yeah, you're right. His run defense is maybe they don't throw him out there for run defense, or maybe Eberflus is going to actually have some stuff to help shore that up.
Well, or you just, if a guy sucks at one thing but is good at the other, why even bother trying to make him do the other thing, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Oh, hang on. I need to go to his career stats.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
well,
chat. Hey, thanks for rolling with the B2B edition tonight. Anth gave us a shout out in chat saying that we're killing it.
Okay, well, hey, thanks, Anth.
Make sure you stick around for we are T- some sort of minutes away from our 5th live mock draft. Stay tuned.
Well, there's really nothing about Peyton in his stats, unfortunately. I thought I saw some things, but yeah, I mean, look, PFF is a little bit of a labyrinth sometimes to find it.
It can be janky, but 11 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 8 assisted tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. I mean,
let's just say this: he has physical traits. He does not have the actual accolades of being out there. He had played 335 snaps in 2024 last season. I think you're looking for a guy to get above 900 snaps to be like, okay, he's like, contributing. So, hey, pair anyone with Micah Parsons. I bet you they're going to play better.
Yes.
I don't dislike this pick, but again, it was like not the sexy thing that we're looking for.
Still, he had great stuff in his combine. He's still young, getting a new DC. We're not locked into a large stuff, so it's like, look, we're not committed. We don't have to completely be committed to these guys.
Hang on, it's gonna come back.
We're
there
back. Okay.
You know what though? It's another one of those. Okay, let's see what we can do with our coaching staff. I think, and you know what? At the end of the day, I admire that. To be like, look, these guys weren't coached properly. Let me in there. Let me fucking mold them.
Let me get in. Let me get in and let me mold them.
If this was the same Mike McCarthy's coaching staff, I would be a little, because I didn't really see anyone progress greatly on the Cowboys. it's not that it was bad, but I didn't see anyone be like, wow, they can take this lineman who was drafted in the first, well, we drafted a defensive lineman drafted in the a 4th round and make him into a 1st round talent. We didn't really see any of that, and I don't know that they were given that opportunity, but because we have a new coaching staff, I feel okay now. Like what the outcome of Mozzie Smith just not progressing as a 1st round pick. Why would you draft him if you didn't think you could? And if you did think you could, then you didn't deliver. So either way, you flip the coin. I'm not excited about that. But the next dude, kind of a interesting one as well, is
Brian Anger?
No,
we don't need to talk about Anger. He's back. He's back, baby. We talked about him. We don't need to look at his PFF.
Kyra Elam.
So out of these 3 top ones, and I don't want to.
Well, let's get through them.
But I would just say,
okay.
Out of the 3. Okay, we'll say it at the end.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about each of them individual, but
yeah, well,
I like one. I really like. I don't mind one of the 3 of them.
First of all, we got to acknowledge Tommy Yaris's photo here. If I can,
Harry Potter.
If I can get Harry Potter up here, look at that.
Harry Potter.
That's like Harry Potter meets kind of a Clark Kent.
This is what I would expect Harry Potter to look like when he was older, like when he's working for the Ministry of Magic as as an Auror.
Oh no, now he's on the Ministry of Magic, but he's like doing like he's got like the
like a drug addiction.
No, like the Department of like quality affairs, like something like a no nonsense a position that's like not. Oh, like, you got the title, but you don't really do
like
anything.
he doesn't deal with the dark arts ones. Like
no, you just you're kind of just you've got a title and you might show up to a couple things.
Yeah.
Also, look, appreciate the article that you've written for us, and we're gonna read it. But first, Yarsh, someone didn't tell you what the fuck is going on with your glasses.
Yeah, tilt them.
Like, did you just get beat up before you got dragged in here and they threw a suit on you?
Madman in the chat says, "Who's the nerd on the screen?" He's the new person that the Cowboys drafted. No, he's the guy who wrote this article.
It's the new Superman.
But hey,
But hey, look,
grab me one too, there, son.
Yeah, we hate on these guys, and it's just fun. It's playful fun. Yeah. Please don't ever take photos of me and then do the same thing because I'll cry.
Look, Tommy Yaris. Appreciate you writing this out. We'll judge you on how you write, not on how you look, even though we are completely judging you on how you look right now.
Tommy, did your friends call you Yar Banks in school?
So Tommy Yarish, he's a Cowboys.com staff writer. He's talking about the new cornerback from the Buffalo Bills. So the Cowboys agreed to terms on their first trade of the 2025 offseason. So this was not a free agency pickup. So the Cowboys are sending a 2025 5th-round pick, 170th overall. So that's the comp pick, right? Was the 170th the comp pick?
I'll pull up our picks while you're chatting here, but I believe that was the first of our comp picks.
Okay, so that was one of our and look, we're sitting on top of a stack of 5th-round picks. So we're sending a 2025 5th-round pick and a 2026 7th-round pick. Surprised it wasn't a 4th-rounder since the Cowboys like to give away all of their 4th-round picks for the Buffalo Bills cornerback Kyra Elam and a 2025 6th-round pick. So we get a 6th-round pick from them this year, and then we give them 2 picks. So Elam, he's 24, spent the past 3 seasons in Buffalo, and he started 12 games for the Bills. Played in 2024, he played 13 games and started in 4, tallying 26 total tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and 2 pass deflections.
Sorry, I was trying to...
You're trying to do something.
I was trying to... I can copy it, and usually it pops up, but it didn't do it, because I have multi-screens.
Yeah, our boy Yaya Yaris says that his rookie season was the best of his NFL career statistically to this point, starting in 6 games and racking up 41 tackles, 6 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions. You see how I just kept it on point there? His first career interception came in Week 5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fuck you, Steeltown. And his first career playoff interception came against the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round. Selected 23rd overall, so he's one of those former first-round picks that we were talking about earlier on the show. In the 2022 NFL draft, and he's coming out of Florida.
Well, look, this is much. This made me kind of go, okay, 6'1", 191. His coverage is not very good, and that's what you want to see with a cornerback, obviously. However, overall 70.2 grade, 67.0 coverage grade in 2024. This is where I think things get interesting. A 76.6 pass rush grade and a 75.6 run defense grade. Typically, when we're looking at cornerbacks, we kind of don't care too much about that run stop. His 67% coverage grade, obviously, you'd want that in the 70s on the PFF scale just to be like, okay, I think this dude's above average. What I like about him, though, is he's kind of got this secondary hybrid style, from what I've read, cornerback safety style. Eberflus, as well as not so hard with a nickel, I believe.
Right.
And so, because he doesn't play that nickel position, does Elam have a chance of coming in there and playing that nickel role without it actually being a spot on the field? You know, he's here to help with run stop. It doesn't necessarily make sense when you look at the guys who should be like the defensive interior Jones, who, okay, you should have good run stop, but he's got good pressure rate.
Right.
But I don't know. But it's interesting. The guy's young, 23 years old.
Yep.
To me, I do like this. I do like this trade. The only thing I wonder about is, so we traded what did you say, a 5th round?
So we give them our 5th this year,
okay,
and we get a 6th from them this year.
Right. So, but
we gave them a 7th for next year.
Right, and what it'll come down to, and we'll find out on draft night, is are there players available with that 5th round pick in the cornerback or safety position who could? Well, we're gonna find out who could have done. So, I always like.
So with 170, let's take a look at the available cornerbacks, okay? Because that's that's essentially what we're looking at here for, right?
But so, look, it really depends on how Elam comes to play with Cowboys. If he shows up and he balls out, and Cowboys do need help in secondary and cornerback, just even if it's not because you think just generally that's a good thing to have, but just because of the injuries that we've had in previous seasons.
Yeah. Could be a starter, could be a formidable rotational guy.
Yeah, and with him, all I'm personally looking for is a guy who can fill a bunch of spots when we need him the most. And if he happens to be able to push himself into a starting role, we got to also look at the reality here that Diggs more than likely wouldn't get signed for a second contract if he just kind of repeats his last few years. He needs to kind of...
Oh, yeah, he needs to step up.
He needs to step up, and especially if he gets injured, I think, Diggs will be cut, and Bland will be our starting cornerback.
Possibly a pick like this takes the pressure off of having him come back, depending on what we get in if we do draft a corner as well. But like I said, 170, we'll see it. I mean, they're looking at it. It's not a high risk in terms of the contract. No. He could be a day one starter if you need him to be a starter. He has NFL experience.
What was his length?
Long.
It's 17 years.
I don't judge my picks on size.
I guess it's a trade, so it's just his remaining contract. Let me look at that quick before we look at our next dude. What's his name again?
This is
Khair Elam.
I think it's Khair Elam.
His contract, it's gonna be mild. Spot Track, get your shit going.
Come on, we're got
a show here, and you're fucking us up.
We're doing a show, and you're trying to fuck us up here.
Hey, settle down. Cap it 2.5 milli.
Not bad.
1 year, but it's a 1 year option. In 2026, it's a 1 year deal with a 1 year option for the club in 2026.
I wish we were tallying all of the amounts, but I think like if it's 10 players, $2 million on average a player, we're probably at 30 million in cap hit.
Oh, I have that information.
Oh, you have that? Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent.
Hey, people have already done that for us. That's nice.
Okay,
Jack Sanborn. This is a linebacker.
This was the one that I was not like I'm like but this is the one that I was looking forward to for a couple of reasons. He's that classic kind of linebacker, downhill.
Yeah,
he's gonna tackle, has solid run defense. Pretty dog shit in the pass grade, but he looks like your white collar linebacker. Like, sorry, blue collar, not white collar. White collar is Tommy Yarish.
Yeah.
Your blue collar.
Crack him if you got him.
He's gonna hit you. He's coming from the Bears. which apparently, I mean, a lot of Chicago was surprised that they lost him because they seem to really like this guy. He's with Matt Eberflus knows him, so obviously he sees something in this guy. And I believe he's from Wisconsin, and they're known to produce some sizable LBs.
Yeah, well, look, he's reunited, like you just mentioned, with Eberflus and Dave Borgonzi.
Yep.
I wish it was Brzinga. But anyways, Jack Sanborn.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. Looks like a linebacker. Thick neck. Look at that fucking neck.
You need a neck like that.
Oh, I'd love to wrap my hands around that throat. Overall,
6'2", 235, almost bigger than Solomon Jones.
Yeah. Totally.
Young guy.
It's 24 years old.
Yeah.
This is the theme we're seeing. Young dudes who have high ceilings and did not come to play.
Yep.
It's all about the coaching. The Cowboys believe that their coaches are going to be able to take these guys and buff them up.
Yeah, like I said,
Take that turd and polish it into a diamond. I wouldn't even take the turd, polish it into a ham sandwich. I'd be happy with that.
Jack Sanborn's like Zoolander, but instead of like he can't turn left, he can't run backwards because of his fucking coverage grade is terrible.
Exactly.
Has no hip mobility.
So his coverage grade is terrible, 45.1. However, everything else is relatively good. 70.5 run defense grade, 70.1 pass rush grade, 63.1 overall grade. So take away his coverage, he's actually does very good in stopping the pass rush and rushing the QB. I have a feeling we're going to be putting, just from the guys that they're drafting, because you only get, I know Cowboys might have 27 draft picks this season, and that's what they're hoping to fill out the roster with. But these guys are the talents that they're coming in with, and maybe they don't even have a talent, but the best thing that you can pick from them is they have the ability to pass rush.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, it doesn't necessarily stop the run, but hey, I out of all the guys, this Jack Sanborn one is the one I have the most hope for.
Yeah.
Young,
dumb, and full of life.
Fulbert Eberflus. But yeah, he does he fills that rush stop need, or this is what the stats tell us. So another young dude, another young hunk. That's a hunk for sure.
Yeah. Smoke One For You says best pickup of the day was Jack Sanborn. I believe it or not, we were going to get him in the undrafted free agency, but he was snagged, and I see why he is a true baller.
Excellent. Well, we also have our other linebacker we signed, Kenneth Murray Jr., and this is also by Tommy Yerish.
Tommy Yerish, aka Tommy Harry Potter Yerish. I'm not a big fan of this pick.
You want to give it a little read ski, and I'll pull up his PFF.
Okay, so in their second trade of the day, the Cowboys have agreed to terms to send a 6th round pick. So that could be the one that was that the one that we just picked up from
188.
Was that
That's a good question.
I think that was the one that we picked up from the trade for the Bills to the Tennessee Titans for linebacker Kenneth Murray and a 7th round pick, 239th overall. So we gave up 2 picks for this fuck. One of them was one that we got additional, so maybe we just gave one technically. Murray's 26, played 5 seasons in the NFL. 4 of those were spent with the last.
We got the 7th.
Oh, so we got the 7th. Okay, so we swapped it. So we got our 7th back for that other picked up 6th one. Okay, that makes sense. I'm stupid sometimes. Former first rounder. He played for the Chargers for 4 years. Signed a 2-year deal with the Titans ahead of the 2024 season. So in his first and only year with Tennessee, put together 95 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, interception, a career high of 3.5 sacks. Team captain, came right in, been team captain for the Titans, and started in all of his 14 games he played in. Apparently, I think he was he came out of the draft when they drafted him as being like someone to watch out. He was like a firecracker, and his 4 seasons with the Chargers, he kind of like just flattened out a bit, right? So one of those guys, high potential, didn't do much in the last 4 years. He's still young enough that this can be adjusted, right? Get him into a good area with culture, have a seasoned defensive coordinator like Eberflus. Thank you. So again, we're hopeful. We want these guys to do well. Could they? If time could tell, he maybe was good in college, couldn't handle the NFL. We don't know.
I will just say this: a nice thing about him is he started in 53 of the 59 games that he played in. So he's out there playing football. Played 14 games last season, so he missed a few of them. Whether or not, that's going to happen in the NFL. So I like to see that he's got some toughness to him. 6'2", 241. That's a pretty decent size for a linebacker, and especially the way that it looks like he plays at 26 years old. I know. 45.9 overall, 35.0 run defense grade. He can't stop a fucking, I don't know.
Yeah,
he can't stop an elephant.
The only reason...
Well, who can stop an elephant? That's a bad analogy.
The only thing I was excited about for this pickup specifically, as soon as I saw the run defense grade like that, I was put myself to next season and seeing Anth over there yelling at Kenneth Murray Jr. like, get the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Why are you running away from him?
Anth just said, I think AJ could hit a better PFF grade than that as a linebacker.
I probably am very close to that 35 run defense grade, only because I don't think it goes lower. He was 185th out of 189. Coverage grade, 55.4. Again, though, the shining light, if you had to have one, is his pass rush grade, 67.7. So the dude can can get to the quarterback. We're seeing that trend with a bunch of these dudes that we've picked up. Well, they might have shit stats, but at least the one that stands out the most is pass rush.
I mean, I obviously I don't know the stats from this, but when you watch it, like we don't in the last few years, we've not seen the Cowboys blitz a lot, right? So you look at a lot of these guys who have really stellar, or at least stellar.
You mean like full box blitz? Yeah,
full box blitz.
Yeah.
So like if you got a bunch of guys that have high pass rush grade on them, like maybe they're going to be in for a blitz package. Maybe Eberflus is going to come in with some sort of scheme that's going to help hit it up. But like obviously you hope you can coach these guys up on these. And like a guy like Kenneth Murray Jr., what are we missing here? Right? Like,
well, this is the thing. A lot of pass rush is your speed and your agility, and those are things that I think agility you can teach. Speed you can't. That's just you've got a top gear. There are things you can do to get faster and quicker and to get a better step. I think again, going back to what can coaching do to this? Can they teach better tackling? Can they teach better coverage? Yes. And so maybe if you're looking at a guy who has all those athletic parts that you want, but they've just not been coached up. Perhaps the coaching of how to do things. I don't know how these other teams that they've played on. I don't know how good those coaches paid attention to these dudes. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they haven't had that. Well, this guy's still 26 years old, so he's still young enough, entering his prime-ish. If he's going to have a prime, it's right now.
Can you bring up like a 20? Just this is 2024, so we played one season with the Titans, came off of 4 seasons with the Chargers. Okay, so a little bit better, not great, still pretty bad, terrible,
better coverage.
I think maybe he was possibly injured in one of these. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
No, this one he had 7. Oh, sorry, this is his fucking season stats. Let me go to 20. So he was still out there. He had 59 tackles, so he was still out there.
And then let's see with 2021. Okay, so like he's never had
again, it's how you scheme. A lot these rankings are taking all of their stats and making an average out of them. So
of course.
Take that for what you will. I do think that these are really helpful to understand a player's strengths, but the one thing that it's missing that's not calculated in here is like how good were those coaches? What was how did the team fare? Because if the teams, for example, that we're looking at his 2020 grade here, he had a 60.1 run defense. If you added that
right out of college,
to his 60, right? If you added that to his 67 pass rush grade in 2024, he's a much better football linebacker. He's at least able to cover run defense adequately enough, and he can rush the quarterback. But we are seeing this trend focusing heavily on
pass rushing.
It's
because they're going to let Micah Parsons go. They need to break. They need to shore up their pass rushers.
It's either that or they are just building to say this guy has the athletic skills, and now we're going to teach them how to play football.
Sure.
Do you think, here's the question, though, after going through this whole list, we got a lot of guys who are like low ceiling, low floor,
high ceiling.
High ceiling. That's a consensus. But here's the question that I ask you and chat, not you, Ant. What's the potential of the staff being able to get all these guys football ready so that we have a quality enough football team week 1 that can continue to grow through 17? Or is this, because a lot of these guys are 1-year contracts, which it would lead you to believe that would be the hopeful thing, or is it a 2-year deal where we're going to see which one of these guys show the potential, let the other guys go, and then, because this is also the first year of our coaching staff. What I'm getting to is this year, this is tough for Cowboys always, but is this year a year where we're potentially going to see a lot of potential and a lot of exciting things, but end up with a worse record than what we had last year, or the same record?
I mean, so let's look. I mean, if you look at what they've done here, that you're getting guys who have already been in the NFL, so you already know that they're up to the NFL.
Even though no other team wanted them, but
no other team wanted them. Yeah, but I mean, like, look, when you look at a guy, when we rip on a guy like Kenneth Murray Jr., like, he's still better than fucking a bunch of people. And he could be better than some of these draft picks that you're picking up, right? Like,
well, they're going to be better than Clark. That's about it.
Yeah, and you never know. Damone Clark might be better this year with a new coach.
Yeah.
So when we look at what we got here, like, could we be worse than our record last year? I don't know. I don't think we will, because I think we're gonna shore up our offense a bit more by having Dak Prescott play an entire season. We're gonna get a running back in the draft, fingers crossed, and we got CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, who will be all through training camp together. No one's holding out, and we're gonna be focusing on the run game. So I think just our offense is going to do better this year than we did last year. I do believe that. Defense-wise, when you look at the amount of players that we've lost going out, or just players in general, all of our free agents, there were a couple guys that, you probably should have paid them. You probably should have paid them a little bit more. And we should, like, losing Jordan Lewis, that's not been great.
That was tough.
If we had
I think that was the toughest one of the offseason.
Absolutely. If we had J-Lou with all of these signings, hey, I think that's pretty good. Like, if we kept Rico with all these signings, hey, that's pretty good. If we lost J-Lou and we lost Rico, but we pick up Cooper Kupp, it's like, hey, these signings are pretty good going into the draft. I think we're still missing some of these elements. I think a lot of these guys are going to have to still fight for their position. What we hope is that a couple of them will actually work out to be those guys that we bring into a next year contract because, they performed. But I think in terms of going into this draft, coming off of the amount of free agents that we had, picking up a lot of these bargain bin guys isn't necessarily a bad route to go, because the Cowboys had a lot of players that just they were going to need to pay, and you should have fucking paid someone like Jordan Lewis, because the guys that you're going to be drafting aren't for sure things. And now, because you have some of these plug and play pieces, you don't necessarily have to go out and pressure yourself to sign this type of position group, right? Like, there's a couple position groups, obviously, that you want to target, but you could kind of look and say, okay, well, is the best player available at this position? We don't need to stretch and go for this person. I do think we need to stretch and actually go for a running back, but for some of these other roles, you could take a shot a next round on a certain guy, right?
I think at the end of the day, I'm a little bit. Honestly, I think the linebackers, just because we have 2 new linebackers, did get better, but we're still sitting here with so one of those guys replaced Kendricks. The other guy comes in and competes with Clark. Then we have Leafau and Overshown coming back from that injury.
Yeah.
Whenever he gets back on the field, hopefully sooner than later. What's the chances that the Cowboys draft a linebacker? Do they need to fall? Does a linebacker need to be available, or is there a guy who you're looking at? And I know we'll talk about this Sunday, but just because the last two linebackers we signed were Kenneth Murray Jr. and Jack Sanborn, new dudes. We got those guys on the team. Is there a linebacker who, or you could even just say maybe not a person, but is linebacker something that the Cowboys should look for in those first 3 rounds? Are you changing up your 3-round order after all these signings? There's the better question.
So I'm still firm that I want to see more offensive guys in those first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It would have to be a particular player that falls where you look at and say, hey, that guy is, I mean, there's going to be a lot of better guys than Kenneth Murray Jr.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I do
on
think
paper, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I do think if you look at this right now, let's say we don't know who we're drafting. I do think Liufau and Jack Sanborn would be those, like that pair of linebackers on the field. I think Kenneth Murray Jr. is going to be a rotational guy, if at all, if he decides to if he can even make the team.
Yeah.
Damone Clark probably will play more than Kenneth Murray Jr. And then when Overshone comes in, you now have Jack Sanborn, Overshone, and Liufau. So it takes a little bit of pressure to have to reach for a linebacker. I do still think that linebacker would be one of those roles. If there's that player within those first 3 rounds, it would be a heavy consideration. Would I go linebacker round 1? Probably not.
Unless, for whatever reason, the top linebacker.
Like Jalen Walker?
Yeah, and there's another guy ahead of him, but he's definitely going to be gone.
Not
Campbell.
Yeah. So if Jaheed Campbell or Jalen Walker are there, you're probably taking them because unless you need to fill a hole for receiver or a running back, which we should do, like that's going to be the toughest decision. If you have 3 players that you want to draft, that you should be drafting, do you grab it? But I do think with them grabbing 2 linebackers here, they're probably trying to take the pressure off of them having to reach in the early rounds.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing that I saw with the linebacker pickups and then what we had last year is that there's going to be big holes in the field for quarterbacks to pass to. Now I'm hoping that the coaches can take the team, because both Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray Jr. don't seem to have a lot of quality coverage.
Yep.
Which I don't care. I mean, you definitely want your linebacker to be better at run stopping if you had to flip a coin. But it does create a question for me of like, okay, how weak is that middle of the field going to be for quarterbacks to be throwing the ball to if we don't have anyone in there who can coverage correctly?
Yeah, I guess
perhaps Liufau and Overshone cover.
I guess
cover that.
I guess the biggest question you look at too is like, okay, if they're looking at it and saying, okay, we know we're going to get Overshone, so Overshone and Liufau, is that tandem better than Kendricks and Liufau?
Overshone and Liufau better than they play they play the weak side in the Sam, right?
Right. So if we look at like we got Mike,
I'm assuming Kenneth and Jack are Mike's.
Right. I think I think Jack's going to be a strong side linebacker.
Okay.
And Kenneth's going to be the weak side linebacker.
Okay.
I think as
so we don't have a middle.
We don't have that middle linebacker guy, right?
Okay. Well, that's not good.
So, but again, this is hey. Truth be told,
we'll see.
We're not the defensive champions. Ant's probably rolling.
No, Ant is Eberflus, and he knows best.
But linebacker's still a need. We still need to get a linebacker. I think I'm just saying, like, you possibly with maybe Jack Sanborn becomes that Mike position under Eberflus. We don't know.
Out of all of the new signings, not the guys that we re-signed, which one are you most excited about?
Ooh, that's a tough. You know what? Maybe Peyton Turner, because he was green all across the board. Was it Peyton Turner that was green all across the board?
No, it was Kari
Elam. I think Peyton Turner
Peyton Turner's an interesting one. He's just a young dude who hasn't had success, and here's his last kick at the can to kind of really prove himself that he's an NFL player.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stretch for me to say that I'm excited about any of them. I think the one that I would want the most is the guy that I was saying out of the 3, Jack Sanborn, just because I want to see someone come in and be
because he had a thick-ass neck.
Thick-ass neck and a heavy hitter.
Mine would be Javonte Williams, number 1, just because the running back position is so depleted. But 2, I've always liked Javonte Williams. I've always thought that he has had it was really fun to watch. So I'm excited that we're going to be able to watch a lot of football with him. I don't think he's
not the answer.
He's not the answer to our running back problems, but I think it's going to be interesting to see, and I'd love to see him paired with a bruiser, whether that be Chubb from free agency or Giante or another. I would even be fine with a third-round bruiser, someone who is a big body running back because of that depth that we have in this draft with those running backs. Now, the funny thing is, we're talking about the draft. We look at a bunch of these players who were all highly touted, or some of them, sorry, I should say, were highly touted first-round draft picks, and now they're on the Dallas Cowboys as pieces that are looked at as bargain bin dudes. So always keep that in mind, that your draft picks are have an extremely high value to them, but you have to pick the right player with them. And so if you know there's a guy who is at least the equivalent of that pick in the later rounds, especially like a lot of the moves that the Cowboys did, I'm not mad at those moves when you're trading a 5th or 6th or 7th round pick for a guy, because you're kind of doing the same thing if you're drafting a person at that position as well, where you're like, look, we're going to see what we can do with this guy. It's the same thing. Now, if it's a 35-year-old Band-Aid player, perhaps there's an argument against that, but I still think that you're still dealing with we're really just using this to fill a void. The benefit of a younger player is, can we make them into the player that
can we mold them and fit them into our scheme? The Javonte Williams, and you mentioned it. I agree. Javonte Williams isn't. We were all.
I think it's because it happened
so early,
on the 10th or whatever, and then now we've had all these other picks. It's kind of like almost forget about.
But and like he has good traits. I mean, he's always moving his feet. Like, he can catch, he can run. I mean, so yeah, we want all of these guys to do well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anyone to do bad.
Come on the team and do that. No.
I don't want that.
No, but here's the thing. I always hear very critical, and maybe it's the algo that I'm in for the Cowboys. I always hear very critical, whether I agree with it or not, critical commentary on the Dallas Cowboys, much like we do, or I think that we try to do, is we definitely will get on that bandwagon. That we are the bandwagon boys, handheld right now.
There we go, baby.
But we've also grown.
We're also humans.
No, but we've grown to be like, look, we're not going to just fucking sugarcoat something because it's exciting.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what I hear a lot. But when I listen to those other content creators talk, they always talk about how, look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm delivering some honesty here. So it's like there is that other bubble of like any guy the Cowboys draft or pick up. It's like, oh, he's the best, right? There's those two extremes. So I don't hear that side a lot, and that's why I'm always just I'm in a place where, like, personally, where I'm like, I'm a contrarian by nature, not but just because I want to test, I want to stress test things, right? And I find, like, when we come here, I feel like we're always pretty fucking honest, and we don't really just love players. At least we're getting more curmudgeoned as we get older. But there is that, the Dallas Cowboys have a huge fan base. There is that fan base where anything that happens, it's like, yes, this is our year. We're going to change things, and we'll be on that as soon as week 1 hits. We're going to the Super Bowl, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you know what I'm trying to get at?
Totally.
I don't hear that as much, but it does exist, because when I listen to other content creators, they always talk about, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, or I hate to bust your bubble.
Well, I definitely will talk. I'm going to tell you what my algo services me, and then we'll start mocking here.
Well, let's get into chat after, and then
chat. Yeah, I'll give you a couple comments, chat. But as soon as some of these guys get go, I'm going to the creators that I know that break down film, because I want to hear like realistic opinions. What are the positives to look at? What are some of the negatives? What are the positives? And then, you know, you go to your other ones to get the emotional unrest, like this is a garbage pick or whatever, right? So
a little mix.
Yeah. Not a lot of comments from they were going through. Everyone wants a healthy Overshown. We're talking about
when's Overshown due to be back? Anyone out there?
I'm
looking.
We're gonna find out.
I'll be back playing football for sure in 2025, and it won't be in December. That's what DeMarvian Overshown says.
Well, so like November, end of November. Is he going to be at the Thanksgiving game? Is he going to be in there October? Like, we're going to miss him probably for half the season.
Well, this is the and look, I love Overshown. Actually, let me just bring up ChatGTP here because it's got it all broken down for us. I love Overshown.
Technically, that's Google's AI that's giving you the overview there.
What did I say?
ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, fuck, it's all the same, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah. That's Gemini. I think that Google.
Well, this
uses.
is Google's is literally just pulling, which Google actually is probably better than ChatGTP because it's referencing its own links, whereas ChatGTP will just fucking pull things out of its ass sometimes. At least the 3.5 that I have.
Yeah, don't you can use the search on it now.
But yeah, so this is, I think, the scariest thing for Overshown. He had that knee injury in week 14, and he blew up his ACL, MCL, and PCL in his right knee. So, sure, rush him back as quickly as you can. But and he had a fucking amazing season, man. I wouldn't care if he comes back in December if that means that he's going to come back to his 100%.
I know.
And not be risking a longer term injury.
I know.
Right? But obviously, hey man, I'm not going to stop the dude from getting back on the field. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Mock draft.
Mock draft 5.0. Now, typically we just go right in. Is there any sort of stipulation you want to throw on this draft? And anyone in chat, before we hop into it, if you have something that you want us to do in this draft, go ahead and throw it in. Otherwise, we're gonna raw dog it, I believe. And
this is the bandwagon boys draft. We can do whatever the F we want. I just don't want to draft Genty. I just don't feel like he's going to be there for us. So my only stipulation would be like, we can't draft Genty.
It's been a little bit. Yeah,
So
let's do that. We won't draft Genty just to get
we have to get rid of. We have to adjust the picks based off of what happened today or the last couple of days. So we lose the 170th, right? I don't know if you can find what picks we lose.
See.
You can't adjust them, obviously, but
I can't adjust them. But we'll just go through the draft. I think if we can do that, we will when we get there. But I'm just not sure of what all the switches are, and I can go look in that. But yeah, definitely the 170 pick is going to go to the Bills.
I guess we could force the trade.
Yeah, we just force the trades.
Yeah, we could force the trades when it gets there.
Okay, so Cowboys 7th round.
I mean, when Ant's back in Studes, we'll start doing the wheel. I think no Genty. Do we want to what are you looking for in this draft?
Same things. Yeah, I want a halfback, a wide receiver, and an O-lineman in the first 3, and I don't think that's changed, to be honest. And why would it change? The Cowboys picked up linebackers, defensive ends, defensive interiors.
I got a stipulation.
Okay.
We can only trade back once.
Only trade back once. Okay.
Yeah. Or we could go, we have to trade up. And it can't be in the 6th or 7th round.
I like one trade.
Okay. Only one trade at all.
One trade.
Okay. It could be back or forth.
Might be the first round.
Might be the first round.
Okay. Hang on. Let me just, you go ahead and get a crack 'em in. Before we hop in.
If you got 'em.
So this is not updated. This was written today, but it was written by Patrick No C. I'm just looking at our
Alex is looking to see what
our actual draft
picks are. Just Call Me Tay says, what's the biggest need for Dallas? I would say running back is up there for a big need. Not a big need, but I still think linebacker, someone who can actually pass cover in the linebacker role, is a need. And then a guard. Yeah, we need a guard. We definitely need a guard.
Okay, so we somehow got the 149 pick. Oh, that is our 5th round pick. Okay,
Yeah.
and then, so here, I got an updated list.
You got it updated? Okay, sweet.
So we're going to have to make some moves when we get down.
Okay,
for those
good.
picks.
Okay. So
Okay, all right. Restart. 7-round Dallas Cowboys mock draft. This is our 5.0.
5.0.
Sans Tony B.
Sans Tony B. Hopefully he's listening. He's going to see how the bandwagon boys can cook when we're in a driver's seat.
And we're going to go in slow. 7-round Dallas Cowboys. All I did was pop the public and PFF in the middle. Do you want to make any more adjustments here? I think we've not drafted for so long that I think it's good to come back and let's.
Is it always up there for more on draft for needs?
These are I didn't touch any of those. I didn't touch care for position value, draft for needs, or randomness.
You could go draft for needs down a click or two, and we see what it does, or whatever.
I just want to see what it does. But me personally, I have not noticed much difference between public and PFF board. They're almost like
the same
within there, but it's like the randomness. So I don't know if it's the randomness that's changing those things. So it doesn't make a big difference. These ones make more difference. But I just want to see what it does with our with what we have now.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. 7-round Dallas Cowboys mock draft.
Tennessee Titans on the clock.
On the clock. We're going slow. We're gonna slow roll to our 12. We got one trade. We have one trade on this draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Get crazy.
First to go, Travis Hunter.
Okay.
To the Titans. Next, Aston Giente.
Oh, okay,
what the fuck?
Okay. Hey.
Wow, Aston Giente goes number 2 to the Cleveland Browns. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, they don't even have a quarterback.
No, we got to hold now. We can't draft. We can't make a trade, sorry.
We can't make a trade. So right now we have Jenkins Gaming says Barron at 12 is a Dallas pick watch, so let's keep the name Barron.
Okay.
Travis over Abdul Carter. Welp.
I know. Well, here we go. Patriots have a chance to. Will Campbell went tackle to New York. McMillan, wide receiver to the Pats. Abdullah Carter finally goes to the Jags.
Pause. Okay, Mason Graham.
Mason Graham goes to the. We've not seen one quarterback off the board. This is nuts. Mason Graham went to the Raiders at 6. Why am I pausing?
I was just gonna say, are we sitting at 12?
No, there's no reason to.
There's
no reason. The guy who we would have traded for, Giante, Abdullah Carter, Mason Graham, in my opinion, they're all off the board. There's still 2 quarterbacks. I'm feeling pretty good about who we're going to get here. Jets are on the clock, and they select Tyler Warren. Damn it, that maybe would have been a guy.
That would have been.
Jade Barron,
okay,
there we go.
Pause. So that's So Jade Barron
and Jaheed Campbell. There's no point to pause. Let's just keep rolling.
I was just going to say, because in chat they're talking about Jaheed Barron is the one that Jenkins Gaming was telling us to get if he was there at 12.
And he's
gone.
Armand Membo, tackle to, and look at this.
Membo would have been a nice pick.
Where the fuck are these quarterbacks?
Did we do a non-quarterback draft?
Oh my God, they've dropped down.
Hey, hey, that could happen.
It could happen. I doubt it, but sorry. Pick 10 for the Bears, Armand Membo, and then Donovan Izuruaka, edge.
Which I don't think we never looked at Ezuraka there for an edge rusher. So I'm not familiar with his game.
So let me just read the next 5 dudes here on the board. Here we have Malachi Stark, safety from Georgia, James Pierce Jr., edge from Tennessee, Mike Green, edge from Marshall, Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, Luther Burden III, wide receiver from Missouri, and Kenneth Grant, defensive interior from Michigan. Any of those guys stand out to you? I mean, we're getting Malachi Starks has dropped a little bit in terms of his rank. He's now being drafted at the 18th overall pick. For my money, Will Johnson, Luther Burden III, or Kenneth Grant would be guys who I'd look at, but I do want to see.
Hey, this is a funky draft. I say we trade back. I'd say we use this to.
It's 8 back, so it means you're not going to get any one of those guys.
Yeah, okay.
I think we pick with this one, and then we can trade. We can trade up too. But here's our guys. What do you think? Who are you looking for here?
Well,
Malachi Starks, James Pierce, Mike Green, Will Johnson, Luther Burden III, and Kenneth Grant.
Bring up Will Johnson.
Will Johnson looks good, man.
Yeah. We talked about him. I like
6'2", 202.
I like the idea of a cornerback, even though we just grabbed Kyer Elam from the Bills. Not against grabbing another cornerback.
I'll just read a pro and a con here. Change of direction ability is that of a much smaller corner. So he's a big boy, but he can move quickly. The con, some inconsistent, ineffective timing with punches in press. So if some guys can sneak around him.
Jenkins,
I don't know if I love the cornerback in one, though.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Jenkins Gaming says, take Sanders. We've never taken Sanders. Take him at 1. Shadur Sanders?
Yeah, fuck that. Jenkins, I love you, but it didn't happen. I think Luther Burden, man.
I like Luther Burden the third.
Burden is an ideal 5-tool multi-sport athlete for the receiving position in the NFL. The first-rounder talent is a well-rounded as they come displaying the ability to succeed at any receiver spot on the field. I think we got to go with Luther Burden, man.
He stayed close to home because he wanted his entire family to be able to come out and watch him play in Missouri. Can you just scroll down just a little bit more? Okay, so the other one that you would be looking at possibly could be Ibuka. Like, we do have options here. We don't necessarily have to go. So if we're looking at the wide receiver between Golden, Ibuka, and Luther Burden III, out of those 3, you're taking. You think Luther Burden is our wide receiver to grab?
No, I just think Luther Burden. I don't think
any of those guys.
Our next trade would be 20 back to at least the 20th pick. Probably not going to get a Emeka Egbuka, and I don't want to give up Luther Burden and Emeka Egbuka to draft Kelvin Banks Jr., Cam Ward, Derek Harmon,
what I'm saying is, when we're looking at this, we could go down a couple spots. I wouldn't be against drafting Emeka Egbuka right here.
I'm just telling you, this is what I'm saying. Our next pick is our draft that we could trade back to would be the 20th pick with the Denver Broncos. So if we do that, we're probably not going to get Luther Burden or Emeka Egbuka because
you could get a Matthew Golden. He's sitting there up at like 27, so he could be the wide receiver that we could get. Plus, we could get some picks and or Amari and Hampton.
Well, let's see what we can get. I don't love it. It's 8 picks back,
and I don't love it either. But I wasn't even saying trade back. I was just saying, do we just pick up Egbuka instead over Burden?
No.
Yeah, you want to go with the higher. You want to get the nice little chart.
I don't think Ibuka's. I think Ibuka's like 5th ranked. I don't think he should be ahead of Golden. But yeah, swap him for Golden. I still don't think.
Right.
So this is the trade we could do: is the 12th round pick, drop back to the 20th, and get the 51st and 85th overall.
I mean, I think we would be able to grab a Hampton if we didn't get Burden.
Want me to pull the trigger on this trade?
It's
the one trade we get.
I'm only into it if you're into it. It has to be
I'm not against it. Let's do it.
Let's cook.
Let's lock it up.
Let's
lock it up.
Uh-oh.
You been boost,
baby. You been boost, baby.
All right, let's see who they pick. So the we traded back. Denver Broncos take Will Johnson. Next is Malachi Starks to the Miami Dolphins, and James Pierce edge to the Colts. Mike Green edge to the Falcons.
So far looking good.
Shamar Stewart edge to the. This is a fucking.
They're all edging. Kenneth
Grant defensive.
Come on, baby.
Miles. We're gonna get one of these wide receivers. That's nuts.
Okay.
That's okay. Then we take Egbuka.
Okay, so we take Egbuka.
I don't love him, but 6'1", 205. There seems to be some draft fatigue with Egbuka, who has been talked about as an NFL prospect for 3 years. Don't fall for it. He's a high-floor, versatile, and savvy receiver as a borderline wide receiver 1-2. I think we take him, lock it up. We've got extra picks, 44 and 51.
And guess who we we probably won't see Amari and Hampton at 44. But this draft's been going crazy, so who knows?
Who knows? I mean, shit. Cam Ward's still on the board.
Okay, Emeka
Egbuka.
Welcome to the team.
And now we just turbo it.
Yeah, now you turbo it up. Yeah, because we can't trade back or anything.
And we're not getting sucked into it.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, shit. What did we get into?
Tyleik Williams, defensive interior. We looked at this guy. I think he had a pretty damn good combine. Let me just pull up his little fucking Skittle board here real quick.
Pull up that Skittle board, kid.
Hey,
I'm happy with that trade.
Yeah,
and we
honestly,
and we got a Buka
because we ended up getting a top wide receiver. I think that's totally fine. Tyreek Williams, he's pretty damn good. He's a big boy. Let me just look at him.
Hey, so AJ's bringing up his Skittle board right now because looking at these defensive guys, his run date grade defense is 88, like we saw. So if we look at what we did in free agency and trades, this is the exact opposite. His run grade's up there. His pass grade's a little bit down. So he could be that run stopper that we have.
And we do want him. We do need that.
He's green across the board. Not a bad pick. So Trey Amos says, just call me Tay. If Trey Amos is still there, I'd go Amos. Cornerback, looking healthy, looking hydrated.
The only thing I'm saying is what's a better need, the cornerback right now or the DI? I'm leaning towards DI, defensive interior.
Let's see what we got closer down to the 50 picks is too, just so we don't have to.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Okay, so we got Scadaboo's dropped back, so we could probably still get. Oh, and then so I definitely don't mind us going to like a defensive line guy.
Well, let's get him. Let's get Williams.
Or do you like Shamar Turner? Because we've looked at Shamar.
I don't like Shamar Turner. No.
And Alfred Collins is a little too deep. We'd take him next, right?
If he was there, but if there was another, but there's no one here.
Good. Let's grab
him. Yeah.
Let's grab him.
All right. Tyreek Williams, welcome to the team, baby.
Defensive interior. Okay.
Now look, Shamar Turner's still there.
Okay. I think we go Judkins right here. We've never picked Judkins.
Okay. Like him over Scadaboo.
I like him over Scadaboo as well.
Let's get him. Let's bring him on to the squad.
Hey, this is how BWBs cook, baby.
Judkins, welcome to the team.
We cook it and book it. We cook it and book it. We cook it and book it and go.
All right.
And hey, back to back, do we go RJ Harvey in the halfback position because we just don't trust Javonte Williams? I'm just kidding. I'm a little too crazy there, right?
I don't hate that. I honestly don't hate that. Tackle Ozzy Trapillo, 6'8", 309. Trapillo brings an ideal build and a scheme versatile football IQ to the tackle position. His size and versatility as a left and right tackle will make him a swing tackle at worst, with the potential to be a solid starter for any run scheme. Okay, Poppy.
Not bad. I do think what do we have any guards available here?
Fuck Boston College, by the way.
Yeah, fuck Boston College.
No guards.
No guards. So our next pick's 85.
I don't know, Adam. I'm not hating the RJ Harvey.
Okay. Hey, dude. Back to back.
Back to back.
Back to back.
But just looking at Terrence Ferguson, do you want to bring another Fergie on?
No. 2 Fergusons at tight end. I can't handle that.
Okay.
Well, let draft buzz him for a second here. Let's just just do what the real thing is. Let's draft buds.
What are we doing here?
Draft buds. Terrence Ferguson. So chat's saying get a cornerback now. So they're saying go cornerback. Jenkins Gaming says go linebacker. Jenkins Gaming's also saying Blue over Harvey. So we could probably get Blue in a later round. Not wrong. We should maybe.
Ferguson should be named Canelo, man. This guy looks almost exactly like the boxer Canelo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at him. He looks like and he has that kind of like puffy hair that's really trending right now with
It's very trendy. I don't
all
like
the kids. Yeah.
Sorry. So cornerback, they're saying?
So cornerback, there's not really a lot of corners in play here. We can't trade back because we've already
traded. I'm gonna go look at corners to see when we got to start looking at them. So corners start coming up. The next rank of corners come around 100, which we could start looking at 85.
Okay.
We're on our 76 pick. We have 76, 85, 150. Or after 85, we pause. Oh, we can't trade.
Well, we have to pause, but because we do have a couple of those picks that we can't do anything with, right? Like the 170th pick we gotta get rid of.
I'm gonna trade though. Let me do those right now.
Okay.
So
this doesn't count.
This doesn't count.
So Jamal Jenkins saying gotta go running back. So we grabbed. As you're doing that, AJ, can you put up our picks?
No. Because I have to have the screen open.
Oh, I just thought you could click on your picks right up there.
I can't.
I know.
Because I can't.
No, don't.
Oh,
yeah, right there.
Sorry,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Uh-oh. Hey, if Chris is watching this, do not look.
Dude.
Was not intentional for us to be drafting a bunch of Buckeyes. We're a bunch of Buckeye boys.
Okay,
not the case. So we got Ibuka, we got Tyleek Williams, and we got Quinshon Judkins.
So
That's what happens when we're going like this. We're picking like that. AJ,
so I got to trade the right here. I got to trade the 170 for Buffalo's 204. So let me do that.
and we're gonna force trade these to make it
trade
real life because that's what we want to do here on the Bandwagon Boys edition of the mock draft. This is mock draft 5, by the way. We want to make it real.
Okay.
You got it?
Not. I have to take 207 for 170 because they don't have the pick there.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
We're gonna just force that. Trade
Okay.
accepted. Trade again, and then I think that's it. Oh, and then there's the 188 to Tennessee, and
To make it more real, you should have actually added the player that we grabbed at that position. I'm joking. Joking, you'd have to do it.
I don't even know if sorry. Tennessee has the 188 from Dallas, and we just gave it to him, so I'm just gonna give him that pick for. I'll give him that pick for a next year 7.
It was like a 7th or something like that we did. It
But
doesn't.
I'll just give him next year 7th for. Where was it? Which one? Oh wait, no, we got their 239, which is not on there. Okay.
So Jamal Jenkins.
Oh, because they got it from Green Bay. It's all right.
So Jamal, we're both considering heavily of grabbing running backs. For sure, we're looking at that.
Okay, so we don't even have the 188 up here, so we don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, so we will go back.
Yeah, there was a couple of other funky ones going on, and who cares? The biggest one was get rid of the 170th.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we're back here. I think
We are back.
honestly, I like.
RJ Harvey. When would some of our other go bring up running backs? Just bring up all the running backs, and let's just take a look to see what we have because we could get a running back in one of these other parts. So JD on Blue 123. We could probably we'll probably miss him. We can't trade up. Too early to draft him at 85.
This is the next tier around this area that we're gonna see.
Trevor ATN.
None of these guys I'm hard about.
Hey, dude.
Last guy I'm hard about is RJ Harvey. DJ Giddens okay as well.
I don't mind Devin Neal. I mean,
Devin Neal's okay.
Devin Neal we could grab at 85, but hey,
Okay.
let's grab RJ Harvey. Unless,
Okay.
fuck it, grab RJ Harvey. We talked about it. We liked it.
Boosh. You been boosh, baby.
Okay, so linebackers. Let's see linebackers here. And let's maybe take a look at some linebackers we got here. There's
125.
There's Ant's
can-
there's Ant's boy, Jack Kaiser, but we could get him probably later on.
There's a chance he might be there at 150 still. It's a steep chance, but we can't trade. Otherwise, we would have traded some of this
Hey.
capital.
We could technically keep the Buckeye trend and go for Cody Simon at 172.
I'm not against it at this point.
Okay.
How about Kevin Winston Jr.? Let's see. He's a great run stopper. He's not a very good coverage grade, so he's probably. I mean, he had a terrible step down from last season.
We need to make sure we have good coverage guys, I think. Run grade in 90 is solid, but I think we've grabbed we grabbed a lot of pass rusher guys, right?
How about Marcus Embo, tackle,
All green.
Purdue, 6'5", 300. Embo is small and struggles with NFL level strength and pass protection and when displacing in the run game, but he moves extremely well and should get a shot to start at guard or tackle at some point during his rookie contract. I mean, bringing him on, he's a right tackle. They say he's small. He's 6'5", 300, which I would say maybe he's like 290 then.
Any guards? Like who's any guards that are there? There's not a lot of guys after these first couple rounds, right? Yeah. Oh, Tate Ratledge. Hey, we're Ratledge boys. We could probably grab him next. Oh no, this is 85. Right there. Tate Ratledge. Mullet.
We got to go Ratledge.
Yeah, we're Ratledge boys.
6'6", 320. Ratledge isn't the most dynamic athlete, but his solid pass blocking technique and downhill power in the run game give him a chance to be a starter.
Number 69, mullet and mustache. We're Ratledge boys.
Yeah, bring him on the team. Welcome to the team, Ratledge, you fucking rat.
Fucking Ratledge.
And now we're waiting a long time to 150.
Boot says, how would you guys feel about Cowboys signing Nick Chubb if Genty isn't available at 12?
Yeah, if it happens to, I mean, we talked about last week, dude. We would like Chubb to have been the pick.
Crack him if you got him.
Instead of who was it?
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. So, I mean, if he's still there, absolutely. I think Chubb has some gas in the tank, and he's he's got that explosive or that just roughness, that big fat boy mentality there. Like, so even though he's not fat, I know he's full of muscle.
Jamal Jenkins says, keep your paws off Howie's Georgia dogs, LOL. Because we just so let's just look. So right now, if we bring up our picks for a second there, AJ.
Yep.
So we got Emeka Ibuka at number 1 wide receiver, Ohio State. Tyleik Williams, Ohio State. Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State. Yeah. RJ Harvey, back-to-back running backs, y'all. And then we got Tate Ratledge. So we got our guards, we got our halfbacks, we got our defensive interior, and we got a wide receiver. What are you feeling right now?
It's gonna have to be one of these tight ends, man. Or
ooh, look at Luke Kandra, that guard. What's his stats?
Well, we just picked up a guard.
Right. Fuck it. We're Ratledge boys.
I mean, I'm not against it. Actually, looking at him, let me just.
We saw some greens.
Let me. So 6'4", 323. Condra athleticism is measured approach to the game. Give him the floor of a solid zone scheme backup and an average starting ceiling. The end result will depend on his ability to play with better pad level and flexibility. It's a Bearcat. Okay. Let's look at these tight ends because I'm not sold on the tight ends. Mitchell Evans doesn't look great. 6'5", 260. Evans does not have the rare movement skills to set him apart as a potential top 60 pick in the NFL, but his floor is balanced and high as a tight end 3, with the potential to move into a contributing tight end 2 role.
Okay, he became the full-time starter in 2023, but tore his ACL and MCL 8 games in. You're kind of grabbing a
and I know this Eurosec is just trash. We're not taking him.
We're not taking him. Chat's asking for corners and linebackers if there's anything. What do we got in there?
Sure. Let me just look at bringing still nothing
Oh,
sexy.
gosh.
Nothing sexy. Simon Barrow Jr. is a good.
We've looked at him.
Quincy Riley. What's the thoughts?
I feel
Quincy
like
Riley from the Arizona Cardinals.
Remember, we kind of looked at
Just kidding.
the baseball player Quincy Riley. We looked at him. We thought he had a good season in 2023, but then he got a little dehydrated.
Yeah, he got really dehydrated. But hey, we're kind of looking for a guy who can just do something for us, and I think maybe Quincy Riley might be the guy to go for.
What about what you saw Elijah Huzzy? He's another corner that was up above there. Did you bring him up?
Well, let's I'll look at him next. Quincy Riley, 6 foot 195. Riley brings an elite track background and twitched up movements to the position, but his lack of size, 6 foot 195. I don't know. Major strengths concerns make him a tough projection for anything more than a rotational cornerback with special teams in his future. Okay, so he's
not the greatest, right there above him.
Huzzy?
Yeah, Huzzy.
Huzzy didn't have the best season, but let's look at what they say. I mean, he's been consistent.
Good with man coverage.
Not, he's 5'10", 195, scouting coming soon.
Okay, draft buzz him maybe?
Yeah, we got a draft buzz.
Get a draft buzz on Elijah Huzzy.
And Huzzy's kind of a name that I'm into. Elijah Huzzy, looking at me, looking at you. 5'10", 193.
Plays a lot of man
measurables.
Yeah, man press coverage, cornerback.
I ain't into it.
Not into it at all.
No, I mean there's nothing that you couldn't sell me on this guy just looking at that. So I need to, I need to really.
I'm not sold on him either. I'm not a Huzzy guy. This is one of those ones where it's like a 150 pick. We could go down a bit more.
No, Simon Barrow Jr. Look, I know we got a defensive interior.
Yeah, I'm good picking up. I'm good picking up another D-line guy.
Yeah, we need someone who can run defense, and this guy's got an 84 grade on his run defense, and actually even some pass rush grade. He's a B gap dude, so that means he's in that 3 tech, I believe.
Yep.
Could be wrong, but that's where he played. I just feel like in terms of value here, that's what we got to go with. Then we lock up. I know. Well, we don't even actually. Oh, we have Tyleik Williams.
Bro, we're fucking sitting on picks here. Okay.
Alternatively,
we're not picking for another 20, so you could kind of breach into the. Okay, so Kobe King for linebacker. If we wanted to look at linebackers, he was sitting right there at the 160, right there.
Yeah,
You didn't like him though, did you?
I'm just gonna go look at
linebacker from Penn State, Nittany Lions. This was your guy.
Nittany Lions.
Nittany Lions.
Kobe King. Let me look at him. He's actually pretty good on. He had 83.6 on his PFF. Let's see how he did with his measurables here. Looking at the Skittle board. He actually has a pretty good coverage, but he gives up a lot of receptions, so that's a negative. He gave a 90% reception rate when throwing against him. Did not go to the combine.
Didn't think he needed to go to the combine, did he?
I guess not. Only one penalty, so that's a big bonus. You know what? I'd be okay with Kobe King because he plays a lot of coverage. So regardless if he allows a lot of snaps, at least he has the experience. I'd be okay to go with Kobe King here.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you some chat comments here while we're looking here.
We're gonna make a decision after this.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
not fucking this.
Absolutely. Hoodie Kush says, I need a defensive tackle, big need, 3 tech, and then he goes Stutzman. Stutzman is the juggalo. We drafted him. Where was Stutzman? Did he already go?
I don't know. He's nowhere near this pick. We do have 172 and 174.
I'm not against picking up Kobe King, but
Kobe King's in an awkward place where he's 161. I think we just go for him. Let's get him. Let's bring him on the team.
Yeah.
Kobe King, welcome to the team.
And we didn't even draft buzz you because that's how fucking crazy we are.
Now we're looking at who is it that they wanted to look at? Defensive interior. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
wow, there's still a ton of guys.
There's a lot of guys here. This is I mean, Cody Simon's a Buckeye. He's a Buckeye linebacker.
Cody Simon, 6'2", 235. Simon is a traditional inside linebacker who would play best in a 3-4 with a fellow inside linebacker next to him. His length and overall athletic limitations likely make him a rotational and reserve linebacker who plays soundly to round out a depth chart.
Yeah, we didn't love him when we looked at him again. We got a lot of Buckies on our board.
We do, but honestly, it's just about where the cards fall. We're picking at 172. He's right there.
Yep.
Ahead of him is a quarterback and Kyle McCord, Connor Colby guard, Thomas Fidone the second tight end. And then after that, just we got 2 picks in a row. So we can really have our fucking choice. It can either be Cody Simmons or Cody Lindenberg for linebacker. And then who was it? The defensive interior is Tonka Hemingway.
Yep.
Let me just do this. Was it linebacker interior or am I just making that up?
No, I think we were talking about defensive tackle. So they were just saying get a big body D.
Not an edge.
Not an edge.
So the next guy is Tonka Hemingway. We can take that in 174.
If we wanted to.
If we want him, and
we
I'm not against it.
What's the next corner? Just so we see. And this is yeah. So this is at 170. This is right around the time. What corner went?
What
around this 170 mark?
What do you mean?
Well, because remember we picked up Eliam or whatever, and we said, make sure we look at what corners are available.
Oh, okay.
And is he better than that? So
O'Donnell Fortune.
Yeah, okay. And Danny Stutzman was the one that Hoodie Kush was asking to go for. But we picked the Juggalo before.
Okay,
not a big deal.
Not a big deal, but he is on, and Jonah Monheim.
Yeah.
Is that a versatile center that I like?
Yeah.
Or that we like.
But in terms of like cornerbacks, like, so are any of these guys, do we think any of those cornerbacks are going to be better than?
Not at 172.
Yeah. So then
they're going to be there later.
Then probably a good trade from the Bills is what we were trying to deduce from this, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, because we had 170, 172, 174.
Yeah. It's
a fair trade because you're only going to, hopefully you're not hoping that the guy there is at 170.
Hey, dude, let's just bring on the Buckeye.
Let's bring on Cody Simon.
We're Buckeye boys today.
Double linebackers, double running backs. We don't give a fuck.
Fuck you, Anth. Fuck you.
Cody Simon.
Welcome to the team.
And now we can kind of stretch on this one, in my opinion, because we've picked up a guy who was BPA. Now we can go to our
Tonka
Hemingway. I do have him on.
We've grabbed Tonka before.
Did we?
Yeah, we grabbed him.
I know we looked at him. I don't.
I thought we grabbed him maybe on a 0.5.
We damn well might have. Where are you, Tonka? So, Tonka played for a South Carolina decent school. Let me have a look-ski at his quick little skidaboard metrics. a little bit underperforming, but we're talking about a what round are we in? 5th round.
Fifth
so
round.
come on.
We'll never
now.
get out of this fifth. Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Let's do it. Let's do
6.
Tonka. He didn't
Now-
he wasn't shit,
Okay.
but he didn't impress.
Okay. Because we have so many fucking picks, can you just bring up quarterbacks for me for a second? Right now, we don't have a backup quarterback on this team. So let's just see what we have available to us. So Brady Cook's at 192. We could probably get him at 205.
And if not, I mean, do any of these guys.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not going to
We
say.
will. We can take at 205 or 207. We can pick up.
Yeah. Okay.
pick.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Tatanka, let's do it.
Yeah, let me get to Tonka. Where the fuck are you, Tonka? Oh, there we go. 183. Tonka, welcome to the team. Tonka Hemingway. So now I think we've got 2 DIs, two RBs.
Hey, we're
stacking.
Hey, do we like Brady Cook? Do we take the Canadian boy Curtis Rourke, which we haven't taken? His brother Nathan Rourke's the starting quarterback of the BC Lions.
I don't
Tyler Show's
actually.
not
Rourke
bad.
is great. So is Brady Cook. Brady Cook had a really good
I like Brady Cook.
combine.
I like Brady Cook.
Okay, let me just have a quick look. What we're gonna do it based off of his yards per average. Okay, 7.9. And now we'll look at Rourke.
Hoodie Kush is telling us we do have a backup quarterback. We have Will Greer, which is not much
Get
of a
outta
backup.
here. I think it's Rourke.
I think, hey, Canadian boy.
Let's do it. Curtis Rourke, we're taking you round 6. Welcome to the Dallas Cowboys.
Canada.
Brady Cook, welcome to the Dallas Cowboys.
The bandwagon boys go back to back on every fucking play.
Oh, Chimmery Dick.
Chimmery Dick is there.
Chimmery Dick. Now, this guy is 6'1", 195, played for the Florida Gators. I think he was, for where he's being drafted right now, he's pretty decent. Just only had 2 touchdowns. That's his major fucking flaw.
Okay, let's just look at our guys. Let's look at our picks right now, what we got. Okay, so we got wide receiver, DI.
Read the names.
Okay, so we got Ibuka at wide receiver. We got Williams at DI. Quinshot Judkins at halfback. RJ Harvey at halfback, our first crazy back-to-back. Tate Ratledge from Georgia, guard. We got Kobe King, linebacker. Then we said, fuck it, let's go back-to-back again, baby. We went Cody Simon. Then we picked Tatanka up for another defensive interior. And then we got Curtis Rourke. So we could look at a tackle, either not a defensive tackle, but I'm thinking tackle. Or we could just get crazy and go. Oh,
I think BPA kind of in that area for these next 4 picks. We're not picking any starters. We're just getting guys who might be able to make
Dean
some
Clark.
difference.
We've looked at Dean Clark. He's a safety. I thought we liked him.
6'1", 206. Clark lacks difference, making NFL explosiveness and acceleration, but he's an experienced and versatile safety prospect who can be a valuable depth player as a strong safety and can operate in a 2-high safety system. Poppy don't mind that.
I know you don't mind.
He wasn't terrible. That's the
He
thing.
did good against Michigan.
Let's do it.
I think there's good upsides for him. He's not a corner.
Oh, he's a safety though, and we lost. I know he's a cornerback, but we lost the nickel, and the safety can maybe come into play
Let's
there.
fucking
So
fuck up, baby. I mean, we could. Hey, if you see somebody else there that you want,
no, I don't.
Okay.
At this point, I'm happy to take Dean Clark, Fresno State. Give me that dog.
welcome to the team. Same guys are still sitting here.
Same guy still sitting here.
Jake Majors.
Jake Majors. Let's have a look-ski at him.
I mean,
Center.
could this be our center that we kick
Texas?
baby out? Scouting summary soon. 6'3", 315.
I mean, you know what we got to do.
Yeah, we got to draft buzz this guy. I want a mustache.
If he's got a mustache,
If he's
we
got a
take him.
mustache, he's getting drafted.
If not, it doesn't mean he's not. If he doesn't, but
I
that
mean,
count?
he looks like a center. He kind of looks like he's a center guy. His 40 time almost fucking broke under 5.
great pass blocker. Let's get him.
Okay, grab him.
Jake Majors.
Welcome to the team.
Hey, we got a major announcement for you, brother.
Hook 'em.
Welcome to the team.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.
You hooker.
Okay.
2 more picks left. 241 and 249. I mean,
Oh my
oh,
goodness.
Jaquindell Jackson.
How fast is he? We're looking. You're looking at your Skittle board?
Yeah.
We're looking at the Skittle board. Robert Simmons is saying, where's the DBs? Let's go DB. Yeah, we didn't draft one defensive back
Yeah, we
in this mock because we're fucking crazy like that. We're expecting that Trevon Diggs is going to come back and him and Bland are going to go crazy.
Jaquindell Jackson's good.
Okay.
Didn't have the greatest combine, but he is
So
6'1", 230. So I think, or 6'2" almost.
And just for you that are tuning in, AJ's looking at his skittle board. We have broken it down by position group. So when we get into situations like this and we need to have a double reference, we look at that. Just fuck with me for a minute here. What defensive backs are still on the board?
Safety 2 or just cornerback?
Just cornerback.
Okay, well let's take a cornerback. Let's take someone who has
good measurables. Okay, this guy started as a wide receiver, which did well for Travion Diggs.
6 foot 205. Mac McWilliams. I'm just looking at size right now. 5'10", 185 on these next two guys. Cam Miller, we've looked at before. 6'1", 184. And Shamari Simmons, 6 foot 195. So 6'1", 184, 5'10", 185, 6 foot 205. Let's take Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy Hill.
I like him. Tommy Hill, I like the way you spell it. Welcome to the team.
Welcome to
We're not
the
even draft buzzing you. We don't okay,
well,
so our,
you know what? Hang on, we got it.
Okay, so Tommy Hill, we're draft buzzing him.
It's a little late, but welcome to the party.
And
okay,
you're
it's
not even on draft buzz. Hey, so who's going to be our last pick?
Last pick. Anyone? I'm honestly open to whoever. Let's look again. Last time that we look at our picks here. Wide receiver, defensive interior, halfback, guard, linebacker, defensive interior, QB, safety, center, cornerback. Really anyone.
Yeah, we don't. I mean,
let's just do BPA. Ty Robinson. No.
That'll be our third. So either go edge, go wide receiver, or go tackle.
How about Ethan Downs?
Yeah.
6'4", 265. Had a good run defense grade. Not the best pass rush, but we are looking for that run defense to help kind of just shore that up. And if you're on draft by Ethan Downs, oh my God, you are. Please be cool. Dear Lord. I mean, we almost have to.
I think we have to. Hey, good
great bench.
Whoa.
Good 40. Welcome to the
welcome to the team.
You nerdy piece of shit. Don't ever fucking look me in the eyes. Don't ever look at me in the eyes.
Ethan Downs, welcome to the team. You're our last pick.
All right. Well, here we go. We'll do a quick recap. That was, you know what? It was a different draft, hey?
Okay. Hey, already starting great with, okay, here we go.
Our trade.
So we gave our number 12 to the Broncos, and we picked up a 20, a 51, and an 85. We selected Emeka Ibuka.
In the 20th, pick 20.
Pick 20.
A.
Then we picked Tyleik Williams from Ohio State Buckeyes, so pairing him up with his teammate, A-, defensive interior.
And then the other round 2 pick we picked up from that trade, we got Kinshawn Judkins, B+. Okay, Poppy. Then we said, why not double down? RJ Harvey sitting there. We didn't like anyone else at 76, so we took RJ Harvey, another B+, halfback. And then with our second pick that we picked up with that first round trade to move back.
It was a free pick.
Free pick. We pick up Tate Ratledge. Only got a C on that guard, but we know when you got a mullet.
When you got a mullet and stash like that and you're number 69, you know you're rocking hard.
He probably smokes too, and that's super cool.
Oh, fuck right.
Kobe King, linebacker at 150, got a C-. Cody Simon, linebacker at 172, got a B-. We're just trying to add some competition.
We're looking at depth here, right?
Tonka Hemingway, C, at 174, defensive interior. And then Curtis Rourke at 205,
Canadian
6th
boy.
round. We picked up a quarterback. We said, fuck it. Let's see what this Canadian boy has. A. We got an A there.
Do the Cowboys, does the Cowboys fan crew want a Canadian quarterback down the road? Yeah, maybe we do.
And ignore that trade because that was the trade that
we had to give to the Bills.
had to give. So we got Dean Clark,
Fresno State,
with that trade with the Bills from Fresno State at 207 C+. He's a safety, and then Jake Majors A center from Texas at 211, B-. Tommy Hill, cornerback 241 at C. I feel like I'm reading an entire roster.
Dude, there are a lot of picks.
And Ethan Downs, B+ edge at 249. That gives us an A-.
A-.
Holy shit, that might have been our best yet.
I thought that was gonna. I thought we were gonna maybe be a B, possibly a B+, but an A-. Hey, we'll take
Awesome.
it, baby.
You know what?
That's how the bandwagon boys do
now,
it.
realistically,
That's how the bandwagon boys do it.
we only look at our third rounds and up to kind of like see, okay, are these guys starters enough? So Egbuka, starter right away. Tyleik Williams, I mean, he's got a really good chance of starting.
Absolutely,
right?
he does.
Kinshot Judkins,
He'll be starting.
He will be starting. RJ Harvey could also be
a right RB2 or RB3.
Exactly. And then final, this is what I like. We got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds with Tate Ratledge capping that off. And Ratledge as a guard, just a nice piece to kind of throw into the fire and see
Right
what
in the funnel.
happens.
The pick right below Cody Simon, though, I know you were taking a look at the top. Okay, so I thought, I mean, I still, those Curtis Rourke, like, everybody from Curtis Rourke up are all solid picks, and I think that's why they rated us that A-.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm surprised they gave us B+ for both of our halfbacks back to back, and then our linebackers as well. We went back to back linebackers. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta fucking play the game, baby.
Sometimes you gotta play the game, and sometimes you have to just say, when Ant's out of the studio and the bandwagon boys run the ship here, we do crazy things like that. We draft.
It was a good draft.
We draft an entire 53-man roster in the bandwagon boys draft.
And that's what the Cowboys might have to do.
They might have to do that based on how we've been doing for free agent scenarios. So we'll be back Sunday for our Sunday service where we will be looking at the linebacker
or
positional groups.
I don't want to. Yes, we will be, but
we don't want to handcuff ourselves.
Yeah, maybe it would shift between now and then. We might have another group that we look at, but we're looking at a position group.
I think just based off of kind of how we went to here,
linebackers would be good for sure.
Linebackers, we've already looked at running backs, but we doubled up on linebackers
and wide receivers.
We're just not sure about the free agents that we picked up today or traded for. So
hey, bring more guys into the pile and let's fucking go, baby.
Pile them up, stack that box, baby. So if you're out there and you know anybody,
or how about if you're out there and you see Ant Best walking around?
If you're out there,
he should be on the show, and he's walking around. He's got a taco in his front pocket here,
eating some chicken wings,
and he's just poking his greasy finger in your nose.
You look him straight in the face, and you tell him to go fuck himself.
Peace. See y'all Sunday, baby.